Stay frosty and head over to EasyMut.com for the cheapest MUT coins on the market. And when I say cheapest, I mean it. We're talking 1 million coins for around $40. Use code DIRECTOR for 5% off. Kia ora, brothers, it's the Director. Chargers fans, it is a big day in the NFL today. Of course, I'm talking about the official schedule release for the 2021 season. Oh my God, Chargers fans, we finally know who the Chargers are going to be facing, the kind of strength of schedule they're going to be having, and of course, start getting an idea how to prepare for these specific opponents, as well as how may the Chargers perform in the 2021 season. So I decided to kind of go all out in this video, okay? I put together a predictions. We couldn't just go out here and show the schedule. You guys can find that on Twitter and all that kind of stuff. In this video, we're going to do like an early take, a spitball take of my record prediction for the 2021 Chargers. And man, dude, it's super exciting. It almost feels like football is too far away now. We got the schedule, we got the rookies, we got the free agents. It's going to be a long wait until the NFL season in September. So it's going to be a good one today, guys. This 2021 Chargers team, vastly different from the 2020 team in a lot of different areas, and this is going to reflect in my record prediction for today. So I'm going to be showing you guys every single game on the schedule, as well as a score prediction for every single game. It should be a really fun one today. Before we do get started, guys, as a reminder, I'm giving away a couple of jerseys, guys, as a gesture of thanks for everything that you guys do for this channel. First up, Sean Merriman, Lights Out. This one's going to my channel members as a gesture of thanks. All you got to do to be entered for this one is be a member of my channel. We're going to be pulling the winner for this on the 29th. But if you're not a member, no worries, guys. We got you covered as well. I'm going to be giving away this signed Kellen Winslow jersey to one of you guys as far as subscribers. All you got to do to enter for this jersey is, number one, be subscribed. Hit that like and sub button. Step two, follow the link in the description. Fill that out. Very, very easy. Hopefully this go to a good home, guys. Thank you again so much for helping us get this far. Almost 30,000 subscribers, and we're just getting warmed up. With that, let's get into this one, guys. Let's see who the 2021 Chargers are facing this upcoming season. Before we do, hit us up with a like and sub if you do enjoy this content. Small amount of time you guys take to hit the like, sub, and bell notification helps me out a lot on the road to 30K. Let's get into this one. Lights, camera, action. The 2021 Chargers, a schedule reveal as well as early record prediction. This is going to be a fun one, guys. We're going to jump right into this one. There's a lot to cover and a lot of juicy stuff to go through. So first up, guys, I have this all laid out. It should be a lot of fun. Week 1 versus the Washington football team. I'm going to point a couple of things out just so you guys have a lay of the land here. On the left side, you're going to see matchups. These are some of the players that I think we as fans in the Chargers team need to pay the most attention to for each team, okay? Chase Young, obvious, defensive rookie of the year last season. He gets to face up against Rashawn Slater, new Chargers rookie left tackle. It's going to be a lot. There's a lot of narratives behind this game, as well as offensive rookie of the year in Justin Herbert. These guys get to pit against each other. Terry McLaurin, one of the better wide receivers in the league, and then brand new quarterback in Ryan Fitzpatrick leading them in this game. I think this is going to be a pretty defensive oriented game, and I do think it's going to put the Chargers' new offensive line to one of the biggest tests they'll face all season. We're going to get a good idea of how good this Chargers offensive line is going to be right off the rip. So my projection for this game is going to be Chargers 20, Washington football team 14, starting off the year with a win on 1-0. But this is going to be a pretty tough game, guys. Very, very strong defense out there in Washington. Next up, game number 2, week 2, I should say. The Chargers will be facing at home the Dallas Cowboys. I wanted to find a jersey swap for Asante Samuel Jr. so bad, but you guys will get to see a couple of players on the right side above my head every time too. So the matchups I think the Chargers need to pay attention to. Dak Prescott coming back after an injured riddled season. You know, you hate to see it. He's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, and he's going to offer some good competition for the Chargers early in this season. For me, the Dallas Cowboys are at least very good powerhouse offense. Amari Cooper, Ezekiel Elliott are going to be really, really tough to stop. Again, putting some of our new players to the test. Asante Samuel is going to see a lot of different coverages against Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, maybe even Michael Gallup, and the Chargers defensive line is going to have their work cut out for them going up against Ezekiel Elliott. Ultimately, I do have the Chargers in this game, losing this one, Dallas 28 to the Chargers 24, putting the Chargers at 1-1 in week 2. Next up, week 3, guys. The Chargers will be traveling to our first division rival game, the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, this is a team that Justin Herbert saw his first action against literally with no notice, and now he's had a full offseason to prepare. He's been practicing with the number ones on the team. And the Kansas City Chiefs, I think they were shocked to see how well he performed his first day on the field as well. Of course, Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, very, very potent offense in Kansas City. Going to be very, very tough for the Chargers to stop or even slow down the Kansas City Chiefs in this game. So I do think the Chargers need to try and keep up point-wise. With a brand new offensive line, I think they're going to have a better shot at that. But really, realistically, in this game, I do see it being very close. But I do see the Chargers losing this one. Kansas City 34, Chargers 31, putting us at a record of 1-2 within the first 3 weeks of the season. Don't worry, guys, it gets better. Just stick around till you see the final record here. I think you guys will be happy. Next up, in week 4, the Chargers once again facing a division opponent in the Las Vegas Raiders. Of course, we got Jared Cook up there, former Raider himself, facing his older team. Darren Waller, new acquisition Yannick Ngakoue is one I think Chargers fans should pay attention to. I think he's one of the better pass rushers in the league. And then Trevin Merrick, brand new safety through the draft. I think these are 3 players we should definitely pay attention to. You obviously got guys like Derek Carr and company, but if I'm scheming against, I'm going to try and make sure to either avoid or attack those guys in a very specific way. In this game, I have the Chargers at home winning this game. Raiders 17, Chargers 33, putting us at a record of 2-2. I think the Chargers in this instance, man, really start to cement where their placement is in the AFC West. Next up, guys, a new opponent that honestly we've played before. We've seen them before, but it's a very different version of this Cleveland Browns team. You know, playoff caliber. They could honestly be threatening for a Super Bowl. No longer are we laughing at Cleveland. We are now being very cautious of how we approach these games. Of course, the top 3 players in the left, Baker Mayfield, Myles Garrett, and Odell Beckham Jr. Very, very potent offense, very threatening defense. They've added a lot of other different pieces to that defense this offseason as well. This is going to be a very, very tough matchup, but I do think the Chargers, facing a similar Cleveland Browns team last season, is up to the challenge. I think we need to get to Baker Mayfield as much as possible, put a lot of pressure on him. That's where I see a lot of faltering. The Chargers going to have to keep up point-wise as well. Might not be the highest scoring version of this game that I've seen online, but I do think the Chargers do walk away with a win here, clutching it with a field goal. Cleveland 24, Los Angeles 27, putting us at a record of 3-2. Getting pretty saucy out here, guys. Next up in week 6, the Chargers taking on a team they defeated in the playoffs not too long ago in the Baltimore Ravens. This Ravens team honestly been one of the hottest in football for a long time, and I do think they're going to be a very, very tough opponent once again. Lamar Jackson is going to be very imperative that we find a way to contain him. We got Derwin James up there on the field trying to represent the kind of caliber player it takes to keep up with him. Patrick Queen stood out to me last season as a great coverage linebacker. Mark Andrews, obviously a red zone threat there. I think the Chargers in this game, in this rematch, do do falter to the Ravens. Chargers 21, Ravens 27, putting us at a record of 3-3. But this Ravens team's looking a little different. Lamar Jackson maybe dipping a little bit in production, so you really never know what could happen in Week 6. Now, finally, in Week 7, this, of course, is going to be the Chargers bye week, so no worries there. I think it's actually a great placement for the bye week for the Chargers as well. Bit of a longer season. It's going to let us kind of regroup and recoup and figure out how we want to attack the later half of the year. Next up in Week 8, guys, this is a team that we've faced and honestly got kind of slapped by not too long ago, and I think the Chargers, better understanding what they're facing with the New England Patriots, newly led by Cam Newton, they did add Hunter Henry into the mix this last season. Honestly, a lot of Chargers fans pretty heartbroken over that. Please go anywhere other than New England. But he's going to be facing his whole team there. I do think the Chargers this time around, though, maybe a little fire, under their butts a little bit after the embarrassing loss last time. Do pull it together. This New England Patriots team does look a lot better this season, but I still do think there's a lot of ways that you can exploit their weaknesses. And I think the Chargers' strengths do very much so complement their weaknesses. I see the Chargers winning this one 31-24. I think this new offensive line is going to speak a lot to these clutch wins versus teams we've had troubles with in the past. Being able to keep Justin Herbert upright, get that running game a shot in the arm that it needs, I think the Chargers can take control of a game versus a team like the Patriots and keep pace with them the entire time. It should be a really good one out there, man, at New England. Next up, Week 9, the Chargers taking on the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. This team, I'm not quite sure where they stand. They obviously making the Super Bowl not too long ago, but they have a lot of moving pieces. Definitely not as lethal as they have been in the past. New quarterback Jalen Hurts gonna have his work cut out for him against guys like Joey Bosa. We got Jerry Tillery up there, and of course Uchenna Nwosu, Frackrell, Rumpf, all those guys. I think if we're able to penetrate and get to Jalen Hurts, make him sweat a little bit, maybe throw off his decision making a little bit as well, the Chargers have a really good shot at taking the win here. The three guys that I think the Chargers need to pay most attention to: Jalen Hurts, Fletcher Cox, who I still see as a great talent, going to be kind of hard to run on that, and then Devonta Smith, new acquisition. Maybe they do spark something out there in Philadelphia with that rookie, but who knows? I think it's going to take a little bit of time. The Chargers in this instance, I think, are going to handle business just fine. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to find it really, really tough to score on the Chargers this game, and the Chargers are going to continue to stack it on. I think this is going to be a really good game for a guy like Austin Eckler. Now, Week 10, guys, another pretty tough opponent here. One that some people may underestimate, but I do think the Chargers should pay very much attention to because of Dalvin Cook and this running attack. Cannot forget Justin Jefferson versus with the Minnesota Vikings either here in Week 10. And then Harrison Smith, I still think, is playing at a very, very high level. The Chargers really need to figure something out in this run defense if they have a chance against the Minnesota Vikings, one of the more lethal running attacks. And honestly, Dalvin Cook could contend for Offensive Player of the Year any given season. So I have the Chargers in this game being taken down 28-21, putting us at a record of 5-4. I do think the Chargers have the chops to go win this one, but I think it's going to be close, and I think that running attack by Dalvin Cook may just edge it out for the Vikings. Next up, Week 11 versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, one of my favorite Derwin James highlights of the past. We are coming back here versus a lot of different pieces. Minkah Fitzpatrick, TJ Watt, who I think is the Defensive Player of the Year candidate, and then Najee Harris. I put Harris in here because there's a lot of other good Pittsburgh Steelers, but I put Harris here because when you find a really good running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers, that usually becomes a problem. And I think Najee Harris is specifically the kind of running back that's going to find success with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, the Chargers really need to figure out a way to stop the run. Linval Joseph, Kenneth Murray, I think they've got a good shot at it, but we got to be very wary of this defense. I think this defense could be top 5 in the NFL this season. Guys like Austin Eckler, make sure that he's out there as a safety valve sort of dude. Hit him underneath, try and find some yards. Should be a very interesting matchup there, but I do think the Chargers in this instance can take care of business. Pittsburgh 28, Chargers 33. Again, very close game, but I think the Chargers can edge this one out so long as they can continue producing from behind the line of scrimmage. I think we're very well built for that. Next up, The Chargers, week 12, traveling once again to another division rival in the Denver Broncos. Keenan Allen, one of my favorite matchups every year for him because it just seems like he clicks. He's always going to score on the Denver Broncos, make people look foolish, and I think things continue into this year. I see him having a lot of success out there. The top three players: Bradley Chubb, Justin Simmons, Kyle Fuller, new acquisition there, one to pay a lot of attention to. Chargers fans really wanted to see him on the Bolts. I think is somebody that we have to watch out for in this Vic Fangio system out in Denver. In this game, I do have the Chargers scoring 28 points against the Denver Broncos 20. I think they're going to struggle on offense. Brand new quarterback Teddy Bridgewater facing the Chargers again. Of course, he beat him last year with the Panthers. I don't know if in this new Brandon Staley-led defense, if he's going to have as easy of a time driving downfield. This puts the Chargers at a record of 7-4 going into week 13. Week 13, another fun matchup. A lot of narratives behind it. Two fresh quarterbacks in one of the best classes we saw in 2020 coming back to face head-to-head in the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow versus Justin Herbert. Didn't get to see this last season. Of course, Tyrod Taylor, the starting quarterback week 1 last year. Finally, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert get to face each other, and I think it's going to be a really good game. The top three players to watch out for: Joe Burrow, who I think is a phenomenal talent, unfortunately got hurt last season. Jamar Chase, honestly, dudes, if I were the Bengals, I would have taken an offensive lineman there, but I think Jamar Chase is going to make an immediate impact for this team, and it's one that's going to test the Chargers secondary. I think that's a Derwin James kind of assignment right there. And then Joe Mixon, who I feel is criminally underrated in this league. I think partially has to do with the really terrible offensive line that still exists with the Cincinnati Bengals. Chargers definitely have a chance to win this one if we can get Joey Bosa and Nwosu and our pass rushers through. The Chargers I have winning this one 35-27, putting us at 8-4. The Chargers going on a bit of a run these last few games, racking up the wins. Next up, week 14, the Chargers, kind of finding a hot streak right now, are going to be finding another maybe softer opponent in the New York Giants. The Giants team, dudes, I feel like got better offensively, but there are a lot of holes for the Giants. And I do think, Saquon Barkley, Kenny Golladay, Leonard Williams, guys to pay attention to, but ultimately, is it going to be enough to outscore the Chargers or even score on the Chargers? I actually have no clue. I think the Giants still have a long ways to go. I have the Chargers in this game really making it difficult for them to score, even with these new weapons. And I do think the Chargers really handle business in week 14 versus Giants, putting us at a record of 9-4. Of course, Giants 9, Chargers 28. All right, guys, remember, we got an extra game this season, so it's going to take some getting used to. Week 15, however, the Chargers are going to rematch against the Kansas City Chiefs. I think, again, offensive line, this is where it's really going to show up. The Chargers need to keep Justin Herbert upright and try and keep pace with Patrick Mahomes and company. Honestly, I don't know what more there is to say, man. We've seen this game plenty of times. I think Justin Herbert is more than capable of winning at least one game versus them next season. However, in my spitball prediction video, I do have them in their second matchup, falling to the Chiefs at home. Kansas City 31, LA Chargers 24, putting us at a record of 9-5. If the Chargers can figure out a way to combat the Kansas City Chiefs, whether it be through Brandon Staley's scheme, the new acquisitions we've had, I think if the Chargers can make their way through one game of the Kansas City Chiefs, this list may look a little bit different. The Chargers really could be a sleeping giant this season, depending on how everything meshes with all the new players that we have brought in through the draft and free agency. Next up, week 16, the Chargers. Honestly, guys, I don't want to underestimate any team, okay? But the Houston Texans, to the fault of none of the players, this team has been absolutely such a mess, right? I think the ownership's crazy. I think the coaching in the past has been really, really sloppy. And honestly, this team could be really great or really, really, really bad depending on what happens with the Deshaun Watson situation. If he's not the quarterback out there and we're facing Tyrod Taylor, we love you, Tyrod. I don't know if they're going to have a chance. Even if Deshaun Watson's there, I think it's going to be really difficult for the Houston Texans to do anything against this Chargers team who's really been feeling it. Coming off of four wins out of the last 5 games. I think the Chargers can handle business in Houston. The Chargers going to walk away with this one 27-13, putting us at a record of 10-5. But pay attention to Deshaun Watson. Brandon Cooks, Justin Reed, I think is one that goes under the radar a lot. I think those are players that definitely, if we can manage those, we can manage the game. Next up, week 17, which normally would be the last week in the NFL season for all of us. We are traveling, or I'm sorry, we are hosting the Denver Broncos once again, and I think this should be a really fun one. The Chargers, probably at this point are thinking playoffs, maybe thinking Super Bowl. We're thinking, okay, we have some success. We need to finish things out. Unfortunately, though, I do think the Denver Broncos, for whatever reason, have our number at least once a season. A lot of times, it feels like at home, things kind of get a little crazy. So in this one, I do have our second matchup with the Broncos going south. Denver Broncos 24, LA Chargers 17, putting us at a record of 10-6. Still looking really strong. I would think the Chargers at this point probably have a really good shot at a wild card spot. And then lastly, guys, week 18 of the NFL season. Absolutely insane, man. But you know what? More football, more fun. The Chargers will be facing the Las Vegas Raiders to clutch things out. I wanted to make sure I got Drue Tranquill on this list because we cannot forget the kind of impact he has when he is healthy, and I hope that he does play a big role in this one. Again, the Chargers need to watch out for Ngakoue, Darren Waller. I think as long as Derwin James is on the field, we got a good shot at stopping them, and I think this season the Chargers roll over the Raiders and beat them both times this year. The Chargers 34, Vegas Raiders 27, putting us at 11-6. I'm actually going to go ahead and put up the final right here. Season record 11-6 for the Chargers. This is where things get interesting, guys. Again, I was kind of spitballing with this first one, kind of seeing all the moves the other teams have made. Have they gotten better? Have they gotten worse? How the Chargers' new strengths in offensive line, maybe some parts of defense, how's that going to affect the result of the 2021 season? And honestly, I can stand by that. 11-6. I think the Chargers, this new offensive line, cannot be underestimated. You'll notice a lot of these games, the Chargers scoring a lot of points, and I think they can take control of the game with their new offensive line and a solid run game as well. I feel like 11-6 for the first projection feels really, really good. Now, in the comment section below, you guys, let me know what your record prediction, let's say the spitball prediction, the early prediction is for the Los Angeles Chargers. Now that we've got the brand new schedule, we understand a lot of the moves that our opponents have made, and then also how the Chargers have improved going into this year. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you did enjoy this content, hit us up with a like and sub on your way out. So close to 30,000 subscribers. Thank you guys again so much. Remember to enter for the jersey. Hit up the link in the description. If you're a member of my channel, you're already done. We'll be pulling the jersey winner here on the 29th. Again, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This has been The Director. We'll see you next time, and as always, bolt up and stay frosty.